packed in the trunk. Somewhere around mile marker 112, Papa started humming the funk. I got a turn in my bones before we know we were singing this melody. Stop the car, pulled out the guitar, halfway to New Orleans, said take me home, 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 home. Take me home, home. Could feel the sun about to rise when I realized we had nothing to fear. It's just me and my dad and a kid named Jay, making music that nobody would hear. Then the sun let up and split the night, spilling over our Jubilee. 10,000 cars by the side of the road, including bars the eyes can't see. So take me home, home, home. Take me home, home, home. Say take me home, home, home. Take me home, home, home. This greyhound is delta bound, mama. Baby boy done finally found. Said this greyhound is delta bound, mama. Baby boy done finally found his way home, 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 home. Take me home, 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 home. I damn should have felt the groove like I was swimming in a sea of soul. The sun was rising and the day was hot, and we're all about to lose control. My dad turned the face up towards the sky, and I knew that there was nothing to lose. Crowd breathed in and I closed my eyes, and we disappeared into the groove. Said take me home, take me home, take me home, take me home. Straight from the water, straight from the water, children. Straight from the water, straight from the water, children. Straight from the water. You don't know nothing about this. Take me home, home. Take me home.
I'm not a member of the family. I was the king's bodyguard.
And I was the king's valet, his personal assistant.
Set your cell phones to silent or just turn them off completely. When King Hamlet died...
Was murdered.
When King Hamlet was murdered, his brother Claudius took charge. So, I became the bodyguard of King Claudius.
And I became the king's valet, his personal assistant.
Traditionally, when a king dies, his son would take charge. King Hamlet did have a son.
The son's name was Hamlet also.
Yes, the son was named for the father. King Hamlet and Prince Hamlet. That's him sleeping in the luggage rack.
Let him sleep. Poor kid.
Our house band, ladies and gentlemen, the Summer January Friends.
Anyway, Prince Hamlet was away at school when his father was murdered, so his brother took over.
Claudius took over the government.
King Claudius took over the household.
Claudius?
King Claudius.
Yes. King Claudius. King Claudius even took his dead brother's wife as his own. They were married not long after the funeral.
I personally assisted the king with the arrangements.
and I guarded his body before, during, and after the wedding.
The prince came back from school when his father was married.
He was there for the funeral.
He was there for the wedding.
As you might imagine, he had a lot in his mind.
So we weren't sure if we should tell him what we saw.
But we aren't even sure what we saw.
I am. I know what I saw. And so do you.
Maybe.
Not maybe.
Maybe we saw King Hamlet walking across the lawn of Elsinore. Weeks after he died, I mean.
Weeks after he was murdered.
That's where the story always starts.
You probably already know the story.
Everybody knows the story. To be or not to be. To thine own self. Be true.
We've been telling the story for over 400 years.
More films have been made about this story than any other story in history.
Except Cinderella.
Disney's The Lion King is based on this story.
It's the story of Hamlet told by a group of talking lions and hyenas and such. Simba. But of course, Disney gave it a happy ending.
Yeah?
So we thought we'd tell the story as if it took place in the 1920s. Why not?
It's timeless.
You already know how it begins. Would you like to see how it ends?
Look.
Look.
Man is placed upon the steps, a baby cries, and high above the church bells start to ring. And as the heaviness, the body, oh, the heaviness, somewhere you can hear a mother sing. And it's one foot then the other as we step out to the road. How much weight, how much weight. And it's how long and how far and how many times before it's too late. It's almost as if you could only crack the code, then you would finally understand what this all means. But if you could, do you think you would trade in all the pain and suffering? the sweetness of believing. Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one, don't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels, we're trying, we're hoping, but we're not sure how. Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through these woods, don't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels, we're trying, we're hoping, we're hurting, we're loving, we're crying, we're calling, but we're not sure how this
Francesco, Horatio,
Welcome, Marcellus. Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy. Therefore, I've entreated him to watch this night, that if again the apparition come, he may speak to it.
It won't appear.
Sit down a while, and let us again assail your ears with what we of two nights see.
Well, sit we down and let us hear Francesco speak of this.
Last night, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Look! It comes again!
And the same figure, like the king that's dead.
Speak to it, Horatio!
Looks it not like the king?
Most, it harrows me with fear and wonder.
Question it, Horatio!
What art thou? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
Oh, it's offended.
See, it stalks away.
Say! I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone, and won't answer.
Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Isn't this something more than fantasy?
I might not believe it without the true voucher of mine own eyes,
Is it not like the king?
as thou art to thyself. Stay! If thou hast any use of boys, speak to me!
'Tis gone.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
Let us impart what we have seen tonight unto Hamlet, for upon my life this spirit unto us will speak to him.
My nephew and my son Hamlet, tell me, how is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. For I am too much in the sun.
Oh, my dear Hamlet, do not forever seek for thy father in the dust, for thou knowest all lives must die, passing from nature to eternity.
Aye, madam.
But 'tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give such mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father, his father lost his. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient. So I take it to heart. Let the world take note that you are most immediate to our throne. Your intent to go back to school in Wittenberg is retrograde to our desire. Remain here, in the cheer and comfort of our eye.
Stay with us, Hamlet. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you.
'Tis a loving and fair reply, madam. Come. This gentle and unforced accord to Hamlet sits smiling in my heart. Come.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting does not fix its cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God! God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. That it should come to this! Not dead 2 months. Nay, not so much. Not 2. So excellent the king that was this, so loving to my mother. Heaven and earth, must I remember? She would hang on him as if an increase of appetite had grown by which it fed on. And yet, within a month, frailty, a nameless woman, a little month, before those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, tears. Why, she, even she, a beast would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I am to Hercules. Within a month she married. Oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It cannot, nor will not come to good. Break my heart, or I must hold my tongue.
My lord,
I'm glad to see you well.
The same.
Oh, Horatio, I forget myself. I'm very glad to see you. But what brings you from Wittenberg?
I came to see your father's funeral.
Don't mock me. It was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats and so coldly furnished forth the marriage tables. Horatio, methinks I see my father.
Where?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
He was a good king.
He was a man. I shall not look upon his like again.
I think I saw him yesterday.
Who?
The king, your father.
The king, my father? For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together, Marcellus and Francesco have been thus encountered. A figure like your father appears before them and goes slow by them, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy in part they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch where the apparition comes. I knew your father.
Did you speak to it?
I did, but answer made it none.
It is very strange. I hold you to watch tonight.
We do.
I would I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
I'll watch tonight. Perchance it walks again.
Once it will.
If it assumes my father's spirit, I'll speak to it. Though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. Whatsoever shall have tonight, give it understanding, with no tongue. Oh, my father's spirit in arms. All is not well when the night would come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth should overwhelm them to men's eyes.
We shouldn't have told him about that thing we saw.
The ghost, or whatever it was. We weren't the only household workers who had concerns about Hamlet.
Not by a long shot. There was Polonius.
Polonius was the chief advisor of King Hamlet.
He kept the job after King Hamlet died. Was murdered.
It's not an easy job to walk away from, even when you think your new boss is a killer.
I don't see you turning in your resignation.
Or you. Polonius and his family lived here with us,
He had a son named Laertes.
and a daughter named Ophelia.
And Ophelia left Hamlet.
Hamlet loved Ophelia.
Do you wanna feel like me? Do you wanna know that it doesn't hurt me?
you doubt that?
For Hamlet, and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy of blood, not permanent, sweet, not lasting.
No more but so.
Perhaps he loves you now. You must fear his will is not his own, for he is subject to his birth. For on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. He says he loves you, that play with loss your honor may sustain. You lose your heart, or your chaste treasure to him. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection out of the danger of desire.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep. But my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, while like a reckless libertine himself the path of dalliance treads.
Fear me not. I have stayed too long, but here our father comes.
It's here, Laertes. For shame. There, my blessing with thee, and these two precepts in thy memory see thou careful. Thou friends thou hast, grapple in thy soul with the steel. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, there that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thine voice, but few thy ear. Take each man censure, but reserve thy judgment. Neither a forward nor an intermediate, for alone oft loses both itself and a friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husband. This above all, to thine own self, be true. Then it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell.
I take my leave.
Go.
And remember what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it he has said to you?
Something touching Hamlet.
He has very often of late given private time to you, and you of your audience have been most free and bounteous. What is between you? Give me the truth.
He hath made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? And do you believe these tenders, as you call them?
I don't know what I should think. He hath importuned me with love in an honorable fashion,
Fashion, you may call
and
it.
hath given countenance to his speech with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Do not believe his vows. I would not, from this point forth, have you speak or give words with Hamlet.
I shall obey.
The air bites surely. It is cold. What hour is it now? 12.
Look! It comes!
Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned! Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I shall speak to thee! I'll call thee Hamlet! King's father, answer me!
It beckons you to go away with it alone.
Don't go with it!
No, by no means.
I won't speak. I'll follow it.
Don't.
Why? What should be the fear? Wave me forth. I'll follow it.
No!
Don't rule up your hand. Go. Unhand me. My fate cries out. Still I am called. By heaven, like a ghost wind that lets me.
Let's follow.
Something rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Let's follow him.
Speak, or go no further.
Mock me.
I will.
My hour is almost come. And I too, before making plans, must interrupt myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak! I'm bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear?
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fasten fires, to the wanted purpose, is burnt and purged away. If thou dost ever thy dear father's love, revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but most foul, straight, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, so I may sweep to my revenge.
Hamlet, here, 'tis given out that, sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. But no, the serpent that did sting thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul. My uncle!
I, that adulterous beast stole an seeming virtuous queen, but breathe, let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, on my secure hour, thy brother stole, and in my ear did pour the poison. Thus was I, sleeping, by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sins, sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and dance incense. But, howsoever thou pursuest this act, pay not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother. Fare thee well. Hamlet, remember me.
Remember thee. That poor ghost, remember me. From the table of my memory, I'll erase all trivial records, all books, all forms, all treasures past. That youth and observation is copied there. Your commandment all alone shall live within the book of my brain.
Hamlet! How is it? What news?
It is an honest ghost. That let me tell you. Your desire to know what is between us, over matters it is as you may. Now, good friends, I ask this one request.
What is it? We will.
Never make known what you've seen tonight.
We won't.
Swear it. Swear! Never speak of this that you've seen. Swear. Swear! Never speak of this that you heard. Swear. Swear! This is strange. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. So grace and mercy at your most need help me. Swear! Rest, turbid ghost. The time is at a joint. Cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right. Come, let's go together.
Love
am alone.
Oh, what's the matter?
I've been so afraid.
With what in the name of God?
Hamlet, with a look as if he'd been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors.
Mad for thy
He
love?
was before me.
Mad for thy love?
I don't know. Truly, I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then rose up all the length of my arm as to draw me. Long stayed he so, and at last he let out a sigh so piteous and so profound as it did seem to shatter his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go.
Have you given me any harsh words of late?
No, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That made him mad. I'm sorry. I feared he did but trifle, and meant to wreck me. Oh, come, go into the king. He must know of this.
Hamlet's strange behavior did not go unnoticed by his uncle, our king.
Nothing goes unnoticed by King Claudius.
The king and queen were disturbed to see Hamlet seemingly descend into despair, bordering on madness.
So, they did what all good parents do.
They hired his friends to spy on him. Lunch is on!
Lunch is on!
Welcome, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation more than his father's death? I entreat you both to gather whether anything to us unknown afflicts him thus.
He hath much talked of you, and sure I am too there not living with whom he more hears. And should it please you to expend your time with us a while for the profit of our hope, then your visitation shall receive such thanks as befits a king's remembrance.
We both give ourselves to lay our service freely at your feet.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz, and I beseech you to visit my too much changed son. Go and show them where Hamlet is.
I found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our over-hasty marriage.
I'll be brief. Your son is mad.
Mad.
My daughter, in her duty and obedience, hath given me this. To my soul's idol, my most beautified Ophelia, in her excellent white bosom, etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her.
Doubt thou that the stars fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt that I love, oh dear, Ophelia.
But how has she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think if I had seen this hot love on the wing? What might you think if I had looked upon this love with idle sights? What might you think?
No, I went to work, and to my young mistress thus did I speak. Lord Hamlet is a prince, out of thy star. This must not be, and that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. This done, she took my advice, and he fell into a sadness, and into a fast, then into a weakness, and into the madness wherein which now he raves and we all mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be. Very likely.
I'll maybe try it further.
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such time, I'll loose my daughter unto him. Be you and I behind an arras then, mark the encounter, whether he love her or not.
We'll try it.
Words. What's the matter?
Between who?
I mean, the matter with which you read.
Well, it says here that old men have gray beards and that their faces are wrinkled and they have a plentiful lack of wit. All which, though I powerfully and potently believe, yet hold it not honest to thus set down. For yourself, sir, should be as old as I am. If like a crab, you could go backward.
Though this be madness, there is method in it. Would you walk out of the air, my lord?
Oh, into my grave.
I most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I would more willingly part withal, except my life. Except my life.
Fare thee well.
These tedious old fools.
Oh, you go to see Hamlet. There he is.
Ah, my excellent good friends. How dost thou, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz, what's the news?
None, but that the world's grown honest.
That is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, good friends, the hands of good fortune that she sent you to prison?
Prison, my lord?
Aye, Denmark to prison.
That is the world one.
A good one, in which there are many dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so.
Why then 'tis none to you, but whether it's neither good or bad, thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison.
Why then? Your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
What makes you at Elsinore?
To visit you, no other occasion.
Were you, not called for? Come, deal justly with me. Speak.
What should we say?
You were sent for. You have a kind of confession in your looks which you haven't craft enough to color. I know the king and queen have sent for you. What a piece of works, man. How noble in reason. Man delights not me. No, nor does woman neither. Though by your smiling you seem to say so.
There was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Then why'd you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if man delights not you, what pleasure the players shall receive from you. We coded them on our way, and hither they are coming to offer you service.
What shall be the players?
Even those you were wont to take such delight in, the tragedians of the city.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. You're welcome, although my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived. I am but mad north-northwest, and when the wind blows southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
I have news to tell you.
I'll leave you tonight. Follow him. You're welcome to Elsinore. Now I am alone. What a rogue am I. Yet I can say nothing. Am I a coward? What an ass am I! That I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a cursing. I've heard that guilty creature sitting at a play, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to their soul, which presently they have proclaimed their malfaction. For murder, they would have no tongue, to speak with most miraculous order. I'll place something like the murder of my father before mine own. I'll watch his looks. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit I have seen may be the devil, and the devil has power to assume a pleasing shape. Or perhaps out of my weakness, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing in which I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you get from him why he puts on this dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels distracted, but the cause of which he will by no means speak.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
It so fell out that certain players we overcaught on our way. Of this I told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear it.
'Tis most true. He did beseech me to entreat you to hear and see the process.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Give him a further edge, and drive his purpose to these delights.
We shall.
The sweet bird should leave us too. We have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he who by accident will here affront Ophelia. Her father and myself will so bestow ourselves. Seeing unseen, we may of their encounter judge, whether it be the affliction of his love or no. Thus he suffers for.
I shall obey. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. And so shall your virtues bring him to his way again. For both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Hamlet will come soon. My lord, let us withdraw.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by to sleep to say we end the heartache, the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, is a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, to sleep, perchance to dream. Ah, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There is the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would dare the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office when he himself might his quietest make, the bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear? Grunt, sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, an undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regards their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you, fair Ophelia, nymph in all thy orisons be my sins remembered.
Comes your on many a day.
I humbly thank you. Well,
I have remembrances of yours that I've long longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
I never give you anything.
No, right well you did. With them, words so sweet made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these now. Rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind.
Are you honest?
What?
Are you fair?
What means this?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty have a better commerce than with honesty?
I did love you once.
Indeed, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
Well, then I was the more deceived.
Get thee to another. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself honest, yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than thoughts to put them in, or time to act them. Wretched fellows as I do crawling between heaven and earth. We are errant knaves, all! Believe none of us! Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's thy father?
At home.
Then let the door be shut upon you, so that he may play the fool in his own house. Farewell.
Hamlet.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thou this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To nunnery, quickly, go.
Music?
I've heard of your paintings well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourself another. You jig, you amble, you lisp, you nickname God's creatures. Go! I have no more onto it. That made me mad! I say we shall have no more marriages. Those that are married already shall remain the same. The rest shall keep as they are. To nunnery! Go!
Woe is me. To have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend to what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. What think you on it?
I believe the origin of his grief sprung from neglected love. Do as you will, but after the play, let his mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be with him. and I'll be placed in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him wherever your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness and great ones must not unwatched go.
Thanks to Hamlet, Ophelia had a broken ankle.
Her career as a dancer was put on hold.
That night, a troupe of performers came to the mansion to provide entertainment for yet another party.
There were singers, dancers, a ventriloquist, even a magician. But one performance that evening especially stood out. A song, specially requested by Hamlet. And the story in this song was a familiar one.
Hamlet believed that if his uncle Claudius...
King Claudius. Let's not be overly familiar.
Hamlet believed that if King Claudius had truly murdered his father, the king's guilt would be revealed in his reaction to Hamlet's choice of entertainment that night.
The play is the thing in which will catch the conscience of the king. That story.
Once Hamlet is sure that his uncle is guilty...
Let's just say Ophelia got up easy with a broken ankle.
Will the king get his piece of work?
And the queen too.
There's a place tonight before the king. one scene of it comes near the circumstance that I've told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, observe mine uncle. If its guilt itself do not enkennel in one speech, it is the damned ghost that we've seen, and my imaginations are found. I mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after, we will both our judgments join. Here they come to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent.
You played once university, you say?
That did I, and was encountered a good actor.
What did you enact?
Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
Be the players ready?
There's lamp on your patron.
My dear Hamlet, come sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you mark that?
Shall I lie in your lap?
No.
I mean my head upon your lap?
I.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, Hamlet.
It's a fair thought to lie between Maeve's legs.
What is?
Nothing.
You are married?
Who? I?
I.
What should a man do but be married? Look how cheerfully my mother looks. And my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months.
So long! Oh, heavens! Died 2 months and not yet forgotten? Then there's hope that a great king's memory may outlive his life half a year.
Whiskey made for drinking. If we were made of cellophane, we'd all get stinking drunk much faster. Now, some ladies never sang all the doo-dah-dee.
Gone run all night, gone run all day.
Camptown ladies never sang all the doo-dah-dee. No, no, no. Ghost of Hamlet's father at the Hotel Paradise. This is what I told him as I gazed into his eyes. Rooms are made for carpets, towers made for spiders, ships are made for salvagers, fire from inside them.
Gone run all night, gone run all day.
Camptown ladies never sang all the doo-dah-day. No, no, no.
Gone run all night, gone run all day.
Camptown ladies never sang all the doo-dah-day.
Horatio, I'll take these ghosts' word. Did it receive?
I did note him.
On the top of the poisoning?
I did very well note him.
A word.
A whole history.
The king, your uncle.
No, what of him?
Your mother, in great affliction of spirit, hath sent us to you.
You are welcome.
If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's deceased.
She says your behavior hath struck her into amazement.
Oh, wonderful son, that can so astonish a mother.
She wishes to speak with you ere you go to bed.
I shall obey. Were she 10 times our mother? Now have you any further trade with us?
What is the cause of your distemper?
I lack advancement.
How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Will you play upon this instrument?
I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
Why, to this easy is lying. Govern these advantages with your fingers and thumb, and it will score most eloquent music.
I have not the skill.
Why? Look at how unworthy a thing you make of me. You'd play upon me. You'd seem to know my stocks. You'd sound me from my top of my note, top of my compass. And yet you cannot make this speak. Do you think I'm easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you may. You cannot play upon me. Ah, God bless you, sir.
The queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see a cloud yonder that looks in the shape of a camel?
'Tis most like a camel indeed.
Methinks it looks like a weasel. I shall come to my mother by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. It is now the very witching time of night, where churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes contagion to this very world. Now could I drink hot blood, and do such bitter business that were quake the day to look upon. Now to my mother, I'll speak daggers to her, but use none.
I like him not, nor stands it safe to let his madness rage.
You go to his... I'll call upon you ere you go to bed. Tell you what I know.
Thanks. Oh, my fence is ripe, it smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. Pray can I not? My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself in brother's blood? Is there not rain in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? My fault is past, but what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. I cannot be. I am still possessed by the effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense.
Now might I do it. Now he's playing, and now I'll do it. And so he's sent to heaven. So I'm revenged. The villain kills my father, and for that, I, his sole son, be the same villain sent to heaven. Well, this is higher in salary. Not revenge. Took my father grossly, full of bread. His crimes broad blown, as flush as May. No. Up sword. Now thou more horrid hent. He is drunk with sleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasures of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or some other act that has no relish of salvation in it, then I'll trip him, so that his heels may kick to the heavens, and his soul be damned and black as hell, whereto it goes.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and you've stood between much heat and him. How sconce me even here, pray you be round with him.
Mother! Mother!
Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Mother! What's the matter, Mother?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Now come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, Mother, you question with a wicked tongue.
Hamlet!
What?
Have you forgot me?
Nay, you're the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and, would it were not so, you're my mother.
Nay, then I'll set you to those who can speak.
Set you down! You shall not budge, not going to set up a blasphemy to the earl's part of you!
What wilt thou do? This will not murder me!
How now? A rat? I know not. Was it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this!
Bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother?
As kill a king.
Aye, lady. 'Twas my word. Farewell, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. I took thee for thy better.
What have I done that thou wag that tongue in noise so rude against me?
An act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes a roll from the fair forehead of an innocent love and puts a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dice results.
What act?
Look here, upon this picture, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. This was your husband, and now look what follows. Here is your husband, like a million, blasting at his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the blood is tame and humble, and sits upon a judgment it waits by. What judgment would come from this to this? Oh, shame. Where is that blush?
Oh, Hamlet, speak to me no more. Thy words like daggers entered mine ear. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain!
Oh, your words, they turn mine eyes and my very soul, and there I see such black spots. Just speak to me no more.
King of shreds and patches!
No more!
And cover over me with your wings, you heavenly guards.
Do you not come, sir, to your tardy son? Chide, lapse in time and passion, let's go by the dread of your command?
This visitation is but to whet thy blunted purpose. For look, amazement on thy mother sits. Step between her and her fighting soul. Speak to her, Hamlet. How is it with you, lady?
Hamlet, how is it with you?
My hour is almost come, my queen.
Hamlet,
Remember me.
speak to me no more.
My queen!
No more!
Look how pale he glares.
To whom do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Nor nothing do you hear?
No, nothing at all.
What? Look where it steals away. My father, look where to it goes. This is not madness that I have uttered.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
And throw away the worst part of it. And live pure with the other half. Good night. But go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue you have not. And when you feel desire to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. The same Lord, I do repent. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. One more word, good lady. I'm not in madness, but mad in craft. I must to England. You know that?
I forgot.
This man shall set me packing. I'll lug his guts into the neighborhood. Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most silent, most grave. It was in life a foolish knave. Come, sir, to draw an end towards me. Good night, mother.
Where's your son?
What I have seen tonight.
Gertrude, how does Hamlet?
And I'm all his feet, hearing something stir a prize and wrath and kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, how may this bloody deed be answered? But so much was our love, we would understand what was most fit. Like the owner of a foul disease, we must keep it from divulging. Let it feed even on the pith of life. Where is he gone?
Draw apart the body he had killed. He weeps for what is done.
We'll send thee hence. And for this vile deed, we must with all our majesty and skill excuse. Guildenstern! Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain. And from his mother's closet he hath dragged him. Go seek him out. Speak fair, bring the body to the chapel. I pray you hasten this. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and tell them both what we mean to do and what is in time to be done.
Hamlet!
Here they come.
What have you done with the dead body?
Safely stowed.
Tell us where it is, that we may take it to the chapel.
Don't believe it?
Believe what?
That I can keep your conscience and not mine own. Besides, it can be demanded of a sponge.
Take you me for a sponge.
Aye, that soaks up the king's rewards with authorities. But such officers as this do the king's best service in the end, and when he needs what is gleaned, it is but squeezing you. And sponge? Shall you be dry again?
I understand you not. Hamlet, you must come with us to the king and tell us where the body is.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. Come, take me to him.
I have sent to seek him out to find the body. Oh, how dangerous it is that we let this man go loose. How now? Will that be fallen?
The body is bestowed, we cannot get from him.
Bring him before us.
Guildenstern!
Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper where?
Not where he is eating, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are eating at him. Your worm is your emperor for diet. We fat all creatures to fat ourselves. We fat ourselves to fat maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar, but variable service. Judicious, but to one table. That's the end.
What does that mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a fat king may go across this through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. If your messenger do not find him there, then seek him in the other place, yourself. Do not find him within a month, you shall smell him as you go upstairs to the lobby.
Go seek him there.
You'll stay till you come.
Hamlet, for thy safety, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The ship is ready and everything is bent for England.
For England!
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it. If thou only knew our purpose.
But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
Mother. Mother is father. Father is mother. Mother is man and wife. And man and wife is one flesh. And so, farewell, dear mother. For England!
Follow him! I'll have him hence tonight, for everything is sealed and done. I pray you hasten this. And England, thou mayest not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports it full by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England. For in my blood he rages. And thou must cure me. Till I know, 'tis done.
So Hamlet was sent off to England. For his own good, of course.
We thought it was nice of Claudius to protect the troubled young man from facing a murder rap.
We didn't know of the letters carried by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Even they didn't know the letters.
I'm sure they could find out. They weren't stupid.
Claudius had written a letter to the King of England, asking him to quietly execute Hamlet upon his arrival in London.
King Claudius thought this would solve
all of his problems. But there are still a few loose ends in Elsinore.
Namely, the children of Polonius, Laertes, and Ophelia.
Ophelia and Laertes.
I will not speak with her.
Her mood needs to be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world.
For good she was spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures and ill-breeding mind.
Let her come in.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
Ophelia was a rebel girl, a blue stocking suffragette,
What imports this song?
who emptied society between her cigarette.
Ophelia?
Ophelia was a sweetheart to the nation overnight. Vivacious eye, vivacious eye. Love was at first sight.
How do you, pretty lady?
Let us have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, tell them this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and led in the maid. But out the maid never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
You promised me to wed. So would I have done by yonder sun if thou had not come into my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose to weep, to think that they should lay him in the cold, hard ground. My brother shall know of this. And so I thank you all for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night, good ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close, I pray. This is the poison of deep grief that springs from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not in single spies, but in battalions. First your father slain, next your son gone. Poor Ophelia was divided from her fair judgment and herself. And last, and as much containing to all of these, the brother is in secret come from France. Oh, my dear Gertrude.
What noise is this?
Save yourself. Young Laertes in a rider's head overbears your officers. The rebel call him lord. They cry, choose we. Laertes shall be king. Laertes shall be king. Laertes, king.
How cheerfully in a bump trail they cry.
The doors are broke.
Where is King? Let me see my father!
Hotly, good Laertes!
What is thy cause, Laertes? Thy rebellion looks so giant-like. Gertrude, let him go. Tell me, Laertes, why art thou thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man. Where is my father? Dead.
But not my king.
Let him demand his fill.
Tell King he dead! I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Who shall state?
Not all the world.
Laertes, I am most guiltless in your father's death, and am most sensible in grief for it.
How now? What noise is that? Sister,
Fare you well, my dove.
Ophelia.
Here's some rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. Here's some pansies. That's for thoughts.
Document and madness.
Some columbines and fennel. There's some rue for you. Oh, you must wear your rue with indifference. Oh, and here's a daisy. Give you some violets, but they all withered when my father died. They say he made a good end.
Hell itself.
Will he come again? No. No! No, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He will never come again.
Do you see this? Oh, God.
Laertes, give your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. But his means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment over his bones, no noble right, I must call it in question.
So you shall. And where the offense the great axe falls, I pray you, come with me.
Who are they that would speak with me?
Sailors, they say they have letters for you.
Let them come in. I do not know from what part of the world I am to be greeted, if not from Hamlet.
There's a letter for you, sir. It comes from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio.
Horatio, give this fellow some means to the king. He has letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled vow, and in the grapple I boarded them, and on the instant they made clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have these letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst by death. I have words to speak in thine ear will make thee dumb, yet are they too light for the board of mine. These good fellows will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England, and of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell, Hamlet. Come, I'll make you wait for these your letters, and do it the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
You must put me in your heart for friend. He which hath your father slain pursued my life.
It well appears. But tell me why you proceeded not against these feats.
For two special reasons. The queen, his mother, looks almost by his looks, and she's so conjunctive to my life and soul that as the star moves not but in his sphere, I cannot by her. The other motive being the love the general gender bear him.
And so have I, a noble father lost, a sister driven to desperate terms, but my revenge will come.
What news?
Letters from Hamlet. This to you, and this to the queen.
From Hamlet, who brought them?
Sailors, they say. I saw them not. They were given to me by Horatio.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know that I am set naked upon your kingdom. Tomorrow I shall beg to see your kingly eyes when I recount the occasion of my sudden and strange return to Hamlet. What should this mean? Or all the rest come back?
Let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye.
If he be now returned, I will work him to an exploit which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death, no wind of blame shall breathe. Even his mother shall call it accident. Laertes, was your father dear to you?
Why ask you this?
Not that I think you didn't love your father, but to the quick Hamlet comes back, well, what should you undertake? Show yourself, your father's son, indeed more than words.
Cut his throat in the church.
No. Revenge should have no bounds. But, good Laertes, keep within your chamber. Hamlet return shall know you are come home. We'll put on those, shall praise your excellence, and set it up a varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you. We'll bring you both and find together and put a wager on your heads. He, being remiss and generous from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease or little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in passive practice requite him for your father.
I'll do it. For that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountain, so mortal, but that dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, none can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, so that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think on this. Weigh what convenience both time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail or our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not essayed. Therefore, this project should have a back or second that might hold if this should last in proof. Let me see. Put a wager on your cunnings. I have it. When in your motion you are hot and dry, and he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice, whereupon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom, our purpose may hold there. How now, sweet queen?
One will but to tread upon another's heel. So fast they fall. Laertes, your sister is drowned.
She is drowned?
Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia. And therefore I forbid my tears.
How much I have done to calm his rage! Come, so give it start again. Let's follow.
If I If I only could. Doesn't hurt me. Do you wanna see me put unaware for tearing me asunder? There's thunder in our hearts. There's so much hate for the ones we love. Tell me we both matter, don't we? It's you and me. It's you and me. It's you and me. Being happy. If I only could make a deal with God and get him to swap our places. Been running up that road, been running up that hill, with no problems. If I only could.
I tell thee she is.
How can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defense.
Why, 'tis found so.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. Does the man go to the water and drown himself? It is. But the water comes to the man and drown him, he drowns not himself.
Will you have the truth of it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Fetch me a stupid.
Has this man no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath bade it in him a property of easiness.
What skull had a tongue in it? I could sing once. Look how the errant knave jowls it to the ground, as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. Oh, there's another. Why may not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his cases, his tenures, his tricks? Why would he suffer this rude knave to knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel and not tell him of his action of battery? I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave is this?
Mine, sir.
For what man dost thou dig it for?
For no man.
For what woman, then?
For no woman neither, sir.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
A lawless man lie on the earth ere he rot.
Well, here's the skull now. This land in the earth, 3 and 20 years.
Yeah, whose was it?
Yours, King Chester.
This?
Yes, yeah, even that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Fellow of most infinite jest, excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. So bored to my imagination it is. Here hung those lips that I've kissed I know not of. What are your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, flashes of merriment, or what to set the people roar? Not one now to mock at your own grinning? For thee, Horatio, tell me one thing. What's that? Dost thou think Alexander the Great looked at this fashion on the earth?
Even so.
It smelt so.
Even so, my lord.
To what base uses may we return? Why may not the noble dust of Alexander follow until they find it stopping the bungle?
'Twere to consider it too curiously to consider so.
No, faith, not a jaunt, but to follow thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it. As thus, Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth into dust. Dust is earth. Earth we make loam, and why, whereto that loam is converted, might he not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth, she kept the world in awe. She'd patch a wall to expel the winter flaw. But soft aside, here comes the king. Courtiers, the queen, who is this they follow? That is Laertes.
What ceremony else?
Her death was doubtful, and but that great commander sways the order she should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring.
What? The fair Ophelia.
Sweets to the sweet, farewell. I had hoped thou wouldst have been my Hamlet's wife.
Hold off the earth awhile, till I have caught her once more in mine arms.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet!
The devil take my soul!
Hold up thy fingers! Lock them asunder!
Hamlet! Hamlet!
I'll fight thee upon this theme until my eyelids no longer wag!
What theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not the quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad,
For the
Larry.
love of God, forbear him.
Show me what thou wilt do. Weep? Fight? Fast? Tear thyself, eat a crocodile? You come here to whine? To outface me by jumping in her grave?
He is mad.
Be getting cook with her. And so am I. Why must you use me thus? I loved you once. I love you no more. Cat will mew. The dog will have its day.
Horatio, follow him! Take some patience in our last night's speech. And Gertrude, put some watch over your son.
Sir, now shall you see the honor. Do you remember the circumstance?
Remember it?
My uncle's letter to England, carried by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Up from my cabin in the dark, groped I to find out them. Had my desire, and withdrew into mine own room. My fears forgetting manners, to unseal their commission, or found Horatio. An exact command that my head should be struck off.
Is it possible your uncle wrote this?
Here's a commission. Read it more at your leisure. Hold out here how I did proceed.
I beseech you.
Sat down. Devised a new letter. Wrote it fair. Will thou hear what I wrote? I, that the King of England should put the bearers to sudden death.
So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern go to death.
They made love to this employment. They're not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own insinuation grow.
It must be shortly known to him from England what is the business there.
It will be short. The interim is mine.
Peace. Who comes here?
Welcome back to Denmark.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, His Majesty hath laid a great wager on your head. Sir, this is the matter. Newly has come to court Laertes.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes.
Of him, sir.
I know you are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
What should be his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That would be two of his weapons.
Sir, the king had wagered that within a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits, and it would come to immediate trial if you'd vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Then let the foils be brought, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him, and I can. If I cannot, I'll lose nothing but shame and the odd hits.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I don't think so. Since he's been in France, it's been a continual practice. I shall win.
Hamlet, come. Take this hand from me.
I've hurt you, but pardon it, for you are a gentleman. I've shot my arrow over the house and hurt mine own brother.
I am satisfied in nature, but in my terms of honor, I stand aloof and will no reconcilement.
Bring us the foils. Come.
Come, one for me.
Let me be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall, like the star in the darkest night, slake fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No.
Give him the foils, young Marcel. Hamlet, you know the wager.
You have played the odds on the weaker side.
No, I do not fear it. I have seen you both.
This is too light. Let me see another.
This likes me well.
Set the stoops of wine upon the table. If Hamlet shall give the first or second hit, or quit and answer the third exchange, the king shall drink in Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup he shall throw a pearl richer than all the kings of Denmark have worn. Give me the cups. Come. Begin.
Come, sir.
Come, my lord.
Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health.
Set it by a while. I'll play this bout first. Come. Again. Another hit! What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
He's fat and scanty breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin and rub thy brow. The queen carouses to thy fortune,
Hey,
Hamlet.
madam, if the courtier do not drink!
Oh, I will. I pray you pardon me.
This is the poison cup. It is too late.
I'll hit him now. And yet 'tis almost against my conscience.
Come. For the third.
Treachery.
What does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, it isn't true. Oh, me dear Hamlet, it isn't true.
Treachery! Seek it out! Shut the doors!
It is here. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee, there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand. And thy queen is poisoned. And I can no more. The king is life and horse. And venom, and poison to thy heart. Take this. Damn king. Drink up this potion! Follow my mother! He is justly killed. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's deaths come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I'll follow thee. I'm dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. Horatio, I am dead. But thou livest. Report me, my cause has the right to be unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an anti-Roman than a tame. You still have some liquor left.
Oh, give me the cup. Let go. By heaven, I'll have it. standing thus alone, so stand behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. I die, Horatio. The potent poison outgrows my spirit. The rest is silent.
Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels sing thee to my rest.